Welcome to session 37 of Dynamics 365 UG India, where we are talking about leveraging customer managed keys in Microsoft Dynamics 365. Today we have Mr. Nitin Jain joining us from Microsoft, sharing his knowledge on this topic. And I'm very excited because he's one of my mentors from my early career days. So thanks a lot, Nitin, for joining us today. A quick group introduction and few disclaimers that the views expressed in these sessions are from the speakers and they do not represent the views of their employers or Microsoft. For these sessions, we are purely using Contoso demo database and our own personal lab environments. And any recommendations coming out of these sessions should be tested in a non-production environment before applying in the production environment. And this session is being recorded and will be uploaded on our YouTube channel. So if you do not consent to be a part of a recorded session, then this is a good time to disconnect now. Introduction of the group, we launched it around 2 years back with a focus of sharing knowledge, creating platform for people to upskill. And this group is being led by volunteers, myself, Umesh, Satya, and Deepak, who is joining us today. So Deepak is based in UK, Satya and Umesh are based in Sydney, and I am based in Melbourne. So we have almost 2,700 people who are supporting us globally. So thanks everyone who has been supporting us. And we are looking forward to grow more stronger in the coming days. So far, we have done 36 sessions. All the sessions are recorded and uploaded on our YouTube channel. So if you want to refer to any of the previous recordings, please feel free to check out our YouTube channel and watch the recordings. Today, it's my pleasure to announce Mr. Nitin Jain from Microsoft joining us today to share his knowledge on how we can leverage customer managed keys in Dynamics 365 F&O platform to secure your data. So without further ado, I'll hand it over to Mr. Nitin. Nitin, sir, the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachit. So welcome, guys. And thanks for giving me this opportunity to present my experience on how to implement customer managed.
Sorry, can't hear you.
No, I guess we can hear Nitin.
Nitin, so I will continue. Yeah. So basically, it is about using customer managed key for F&O. So I'm not going to go into deep detail of customer managed key over the Azure, but I'm looking forward mainly for how we can implement it to Power Platform and to F&O. Okay, so basically, I don't know how many of you have come across with customer managed key. What is customer managed key? So earlier it was BYK, bring your own key. So on Azure, whatever you host, actually in the background, there's a storage where everything goes stored. So it needs to be encrypted. Okay, so it can't be in a plain data format so that anyone can hack and store your information very easily. So basically for that, Microsoft usually encrypt those things through Microsoft Managed Key. But at the same time, you have an option to bring your own key. You can either create a key or you can buy a key from third party and implement it here. So basically, those keys are explicitly used to encrypt your data over Azure. And it can be used, and it needs to be used through, you can say, key vaults. So basically, I think you guys are aware of what is key vault. Sorry, my throat is not good, so please bear with me. So through Azure Key Vault, we create a Azure key, we upload or create a new key in that, and then we implement it to different storages where we want to implement it. So benefit of customer managed key is basically when we use Microsoft managed key, so Microsoft used to manage those keys. So and they implement it. So, but in case if you are working with banking sector or any financial sectors, healthcare, etc., there are certain regulatory information requirements where you have to explicitly use your own custom key and encrypt it rather than backing on the provider. So basically, it gives you a complete control what kind of key you want to use. It complies. It gives you a flexibility to rotate your keys whenever is required, or whatever key you are using on-prem, you can also use it for your Azure, but it needs some kind of a specification. So those specifications should be met. And that's how it works actually. So use case is mainly for data protection, regulatory compliances, specific into the industries, like as mentioned in banking. So basically, if you talk about any of the bank, so or any of the public sector projects, so if they are working on public cloud, so they have to manage all these compliances which are mandatory for them. So prerequisites are basically you need to have an active Azure subscription. You need to have a permission to create key vaults or the keys. And then, of course, you need to have access to the Power Platform by which your FNO is already integrated. So I'm just going through quickly because I want to spend more time on demo part, how we can configure it and how we can leverage it. Yeah, is there any question?
Yes, Nitin, I believe your slides are not moving. It's still showing slide number 1.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me stop sharing and share it again.
It's fine.
Are you able to see the screen now?
Yes, still showing slide number 1.
Are you able to see my
Yes,
PPT again?
we can see the slide now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks. So I will like to spend more time on the demo part, how to configure it. If you have any question during the configuration, feel free to ask. Okay, so I will move directly to the Azure. I will reshare my screen. Let me know when you can see.
Yes, it's visible now.
Okay, thank you. So basically, what we have to do is we have to create a key vault first of all. So what I will do is I will do it from scratch. Group here. I will put CMK demo. I'm creating a resource group so that I will put all the things in one group, and tomorrow if we need to do a cleanup, so it is very easy to do a cleanup also. Okay, I hope you know what is the use of resource group. So it is my resource group. Now we have to create a key vault. So I will go to key vault and I will create a new key. I will create CMK vault. I'm using standard pricing. I will go with value access policy rather than RBAC. I will let you know why I'm doing this thing during the course of this demo. Create. So my key vault is created. So I will enable this purge protection, and it is required because in case if you by mistake you delete the key and it is already used, so you can revert back. Otherwise, what will happen? All the environments where you have already implemented it will got on hold, and there is no way to revert it back. Okay, so this is a very important point that we need to keep in mind. And once the key vault is created, we will create a new key. So there are two options. So you can generate a key or you can import a key. So in case if you are procuring a key from third party, you can import. There are certain specification available on Microsoft site that should be compliant, and then you can import it. Otherwise, if you want to create a new key, you simply CMK key. Just create a key. I'm using RS82048. Otherwise, there are different pricing actually behind it if you use different, but it will give you more size for encryption and decryption. Okay. And I will say create. So far, any question?
I don't see in the chat window. Yeah.
So once my key vault and keys are created, now we have to implement, we have to create an enterprise policy. So how it works is basically once you have the key on Azure, you need to create an enterprise policy, and then you need to enforce that enterprise policy to your Power Platform environment. And once this enterprise policy is enforced there, it will automatically enforce for FNO environment, which is already in link with the Power Platform environment. Okay. So what I will do is I will go to deploy custom template. I will say build my own template. So it is a template, but there is a specific template available on Microsoft site by which you can easily download this template. Okay. I will share that link also. So it is a template available already on Microsoft site. You just need to simply copy and you need to paste it. Okay. There are certain parameters that you have to change. So first of all is what is your enterprise policy name that you need to specify. You can say demo as policy. Then what is the location in which region you want to deploy it? I will say United States. Then we have to give the key vault ID here. So how we will get it? I will make it duplicate. And then we will see how we will get the ID. I will go home. My CMK key vault. Okay, I click on JSON. It will give me the resource ID. I will copy it. And then I will put it here. It is my key vault. Okay. And then I have to put my key name also. So the key that we have created here. So these are the parameters that we have to change. Just validating. My name is there. Location is there. Resource ID is there. Key name is there. We are good to go. And then I will say save. Okay, so now it is asking under which resource group I want to save it. I'm saving it. And I will say create. Okay, it's done. So one thing is, if you remember, what we have done is rather than using RBAC, we have used a different access policy here. So why we have done it? So basically, right now I'm an admin. Okay, so I'm an admin on Azure as well as on Power Platform. So there is no problem for me to access these resources, but in real world, what happens is your Azure admin is different and your Power Platform admin is different. So basically, in order to read this policy, you need to create a new permission here for that particular enterprise policy. So what you need to do is you just say create new, and then you have to get, and you have to do wrap and unwrap. These are the three different access policy that you need to give. Okay, and this is done. Once it is done, what will happen? You will see your policy name also here. I will say. Okay, I think I'm in a different window. That's why. Let me or maybe I will go from here only. Demo enterprise policy. Okay. So we select the enterprise policy. Now what we are saying is we are giving access to this enterprise policy that needs to be enforced to Power Platform. Okay. And then we say create. So now we have given a permission to this enterprise policy to read and wrap and wrap. So this is the access stuff. Now what we have to do is see in case if your ID is different, your Power Platform admin is different, you need to give an access. So for that access, you need certain information. Okay, so there is a command. I will put it in the chat also for you guys. So there is a new role assignment that we need to give. So how you can give is through Resource Graph Explorer. So once we go to Resource Graph, so what we do is we have to click on table, and then we have to find out Microsoft.Power Platform. Enterprise policy. Okay, so you click once, you will get this information. You run the query. You need to click on this enterprise policy. Automatically, it will give you the query, and then whatever enterprise policy you have, it will give you the list here. So we have created this one. If you remember, we have created this one. So basically, in that command, we need certain IDs, etc. So we will get it from here. So let me put it in the chat window for you. Although this documentation is already available, just on the documentation part on learns.microsoft.com. So basically, when you talk about object ID of Azure, So it is Azure admin, means whatever user you are going to have, you want to give an access. So you need to go to Microsoft external ID. And then under users, then you must be having that user here. So you can click on that user and you can get the ID there. OK. And then the enterprise policy ID is also there. So you will get a ID here from here for that particular enterprise policy. So we need that ID from here. And by putting these two parameters over there, so through command, PowerShell command, you can enforce that permission to the Power Platform user. OK. So that's all from Azure side that we need to do. What we have done is we have created a Azure Key Vault. We have created an Azure key in that. Then we have created an enterprise policy. We have given a permission to the enterprise policy that needs to be enforced here. OK. So as a next step, what we need to do is we need to go to Power Platform to configure it now. So I will go to admin.powerplatform.com. So in this, you will get, if you go to environments, you will get the list of all the environments here. OK. So basically, you need to know to which environment you want to implement it. And then what you need to do is under policy, there is a enterprise policy option. So if you click here, so you can see your policy here now. Whatever you have created on Azure, it will automatically come here based on the permission of the user logged in. So now you select this policy, you added the policy, and then you simply add the environment here, whatever environment you want to add it here. OK. Once you select the environment, you finish it. I'm not doing it right now because it will encrypt. It's going to take some time, but it will show you the list of the environment. You select your environment and enforce it. Then you will get a status. OK, this environment is under encryption, and you can validate the status here. And once it is finished, you will see the finished status over here. And that's how your key is going to implement here. OK. So basically, from the configuration perspective, it is the main thing that I want to show you to you. The main thing to understand is that once you implement any key here, don't delete it directly. OK. And it is a recommendation that if you want to delete, first of all, remove the link of that key from your environment. OK. Just not do any action directly on your key. So once you remove the link from here, so automatically it will move back to the previous stage, and then you can delete it from the environment, from the Azure. OK, don't try to play around directly with Azure key vaults or key directly if it is already implemented in any of the environment. So, and about the licenses. So of course, if you want to use the CMK, you need any of these license. So once you have any of this license available, then only you will be able to implement it. So that's more or less about the CMK. Hope you are able to grab it. Hope I was not too fast. But now you can. If you have any questions, anything around it, feel free to ask.
Maybe Nitin, one question, a kind of curiosity. Now, all the environments are moving on Power Platform anyways for deployment, right? So current and this CMK is the same thing when we do a database backup or restore that give a pop-up to manage. The CMK is not going to manage. Yeah. OK.
Yes. Yeah, and remember one more thing, means there is a differentiation. It's a good point to understand that when you talk about SQL actually. So basically, so this CMK works at rest level. OK, it is not about accessing your SQL. So if you take a JIT access of your SQL server and you want to run any of the command over there, it will work. OK, so it is nothing related to the data, what you are seeing. OK, through Management Studio, you can do anything what you want. but it works at rest level. Okay, so remember this thing.
And additionally, the purpose you mentioned, Nitin, it's really good and really important for every small or bigger organization. So I'm curious if the same CMK can be applied for BYOD as well.
For BYOD, actually it depends upon, yes. So basically for Azure services, yes, CMK can be used for those purposes. I have not tried it personally by myself, but yes, it should be because it works at a storage level.
Yeah. Great.
And when we are talking about this Power Platform implementation, so basically, see, now you have noticed that we are implementing on Power Platform. So right now, whatever data, whatever entities, if you have any kind of entities published in this storage also, it is also gets logged.
Yeah.
So it is enforced in Power Platform as well as on a LCS side, means not a LCS side, but from the environment perspective, whatever storage we have. So it works on a storage level.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
And when we are implementing, so a couple of things to understand how it is going to work in your FNO. So basically, when see you have different environments, you have dev environments, you have test environments, UAT, SIT, a lot of environments. Okay. So basically, if you implement the CMK, so this data can be restored into the another environment where the same key is implemented. Okay. So if you have a key 1 in your production, and for example, if you want to restore it to any other environment where that key is not available, same key, you will not be able to restore it. Yeah. So it is very important to understand the restrictions also. So now when we start the implementation, okay, so we have a data in our data migration environment, okay, where we have all the masters, all the configuration, whatever, means we have one golden environment from where we want to move everything to the production. Yep. So right now, so basically initially, how I suggest is that you just move the configurations and the data if it is possible, because as per compliances, sometimes customer is also very rigid that we cannot move the data without having this key enable. So in that case, what will happen is you have to enable this key, first of all, in your main in the environment where you have all the data migration and configuration. And then you have to implement the same key to the production, and then that's how this can be moved from your that environment to your production environment. Okay. And now for troubleshooting or for any other purpose, if you want to revert it back, so you have to get it into the same environment, same means the same in the environment where you have the same key.
Good insight.
Okay.
We have 2 more questions in chat. One is from Mahesh that says, is Power Platform environment should be managed environment to apply enterprise policy?
Yes, it works only on managed environment.
Second question we have from Debasis, are these policies global?
Sorry, Debasis, if you can. Yeah.
I think he's referring to multi-tenant. So let's say there are situations where customers have a non-prod tenant and a separate prod tenant. So are these policies applicable only for one tenant, or they can be shared across multiple tenants?
No, it is for a tenant purpose only right now. That's how, means I'm just quoting, means the things are changing very frequently, but so far I have seen this for a tenant purpose, but we can validate it again.
Well, I believe there must be some option export and import from and to another environment, another tenant, isn't it?
So basically, see that you can export the key. That's not a problem.
Yes.
So you can export the same key and then you can leverage it. Okay.
So Nitin sir, just one more question. So are these keys applicable for other Dynamics applications as well, not only FNO? Like if a customer is using field service or CE, can the same key be applied across multiple Dynamics applications?
Yeah, Rachit. So basically, that's what I was explaining, that we have implemented this key on an environment here, Power Platform environment, right? So if this environment is having other applications, that will also covered.
Cool. Thank you.
And one more thing is there. So if there are no more questions, I will like to go for one more feature, a small feature, but I will explain if there are no more questions. Okay,
I think that's all we have for now.
Okay, so in such industry, there is one more compliance comes into the picture. So basically, we know that support team or any other team from engineering means they can access DB, right? From production also. So some of the requirements comes into the picture from the compliance perspective is that they want to restrict that access also due to the data confidentiality. So basically, for that purpose also, Microsoft have a very good feature called customer logbox actually. So I don't know if you guys are aware about this or not, but we can leverage this customer logbox. And what it do is that it will lock the access of SQL. Azure SQL. So what will happen is if you want to have an access, so when you do a request of JIT, so that will come to the admin. Okay, for approval. Once you approve, then only they will get an access. So in that case, you can, from the customer perspective, they can understand, okay, who are all taking access of my SQL, my backend data.
Yeah, I mean, I faced those instances a couple of times, Nitin, honestly, where Microsoft says we need access, but customer was not very keen to provide access without a proper. So we need to share some kind of agreements. The standard agreements, they protected the data is protected with some financially as well. So this is really good scenario. And I would assume when we are approving this request, there's for a certain time, maybe 20 minutes, 2 hours, or something like that.
Yeah, there's a means. See, a simple request comes where you have to do an approve or rejection over there, and as usual, JIT comes with 8 hours standard limit. Right, so this is a lockbox that you can leverage, and if you have any questions, feel free to means touch base with me.
I mean, name can be better rather than customer logbox. The use of this is different than the logbox.
Yeah. But it's a good feature, means where.
Good. So does anyone have any more questions? Or we still have some time to leverage Nitin's presence to ask any related question. Please feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question.
It's very rare that we have people like Nitin in the user group call. So guys,
no, it's not like you can call me anytime. Yeah, so but at the same time, I just means Rachit has iterated, but I'm just again rephrasing it that whatever information I'm sharing right now is based on my personal experience. Okay, I'm not representing my organization here. Okay.
Yeah. No, I think these are very valuable insights, Nitin, and mostly in most of the projects, people don't think about these type of frameworks to be brought into the implementation, but this is really adding a lot of security on top of your data. So this is something we should consider in every implementation. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there are no more questions, then we can wrap up the session. But we really appreciate your time. And yeah, question. Go ahead.
Rachit, thanks, Nitin sir. It's good to see you. This is Rajiv. Rachit, in typical implementations, where we implementing finance or supply chain and customer doesn't they doesn't provide us any access to cloud or their power platform unless we ask them to be on Dataverse. In that case, how we can pitch this? Like, I know this is a bit technical and this is not adding value from the to the customer directly, but how we could pitch this?
I'll share my views. Maybe Nitin sir, you can add, and Deepak, you can add your views. But these type of capabilities are bucketed into non-functional requirement category. So this is not a business process or a business value, or you won't get any benefit from the business perspective, but this is more from the technology and the platform perspective. So I think, Rajiv, you should call these out in the NFR categories. Maybe Nitin and Deepak, you can add more.
Yeah. So I just want to add one more thing, Rajiv, is that these are the compliance perspective things comes into the picture. So when you start a project, so basically customer comes with their, they have their own InfoSec team also. Okay, so they come up with all these type of things upfront. Okay, how to, how you will protect our data, etc. So we know in application itself, we have our own restriction, but at the same time, if there is a compliance requirement where they want to encrypt the data at rest with their own key, so these things will come into the picture. And so these type of requirements normally come from InfoSec team.
Yes, and also Nitin, nowadays a lot of local country level compliances are also coming in. So eventually, it's not going to be a choice. It's kind of should have thing in coming months, if not years, right? So I think this is more like Rajiv to you. I mean, this is more like, it's not a feature. It's something should have thing in your company, so you can assure not only your stakeholders but the customers as well. Like your data is secure with us, and you are not. So I mean, in UK we have a GDPR, and that's very strict, and at the same time very confusing, right? And the penalty is very high. So no one wants to get into those lane. And so that's where all those small things, but very important, will help a lot to cover us.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for answering that.
Thank you, Ashley.
Right. Anyone else wants to unmute and ask any question? I think we are good then. Any closing comments from you, Nitin sir?
No, I think it's good to see you guys. I will try to be more active to give more sessions here. But thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity to share my experience over here on CMK.
Great, it's our pleasure to host you. So guys, yeah, if you want to host or give any session, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn, and we will post the next session on our LinkedIn page. So stay tuned, and we will continue with the sessions in future. Deepak, any other closing comments from you? Yeah.
No, that's all, Rajit. Thanks, Nitin. It's been an honor to have you here. And personally, I learned a lot with those sessions, Rajit. Every session gives me a lot of insight and give me a thought. Okay, let's take a pause, think, what you learn and how whether you are using it or not. And I'm sure many of people like me who might be hearing those terms first time. While it's very important, and thank you so much.
Yeah. So be on top of new features, guys. That's my closing comment. So it's always a learning curve. New things are coming on the way. So be active and keep looking into it and share your experience.
Yeah, the way Microsoft is releasing all these platform convergence features, and FNO is coming more closer to Power Platform. So it's very important for FNO guys to learn all these features of our platform.
Yeah, and I also like to emphasize that try to use Copilot as much as possible. We have a lot of great features over there. I don't know if you guys have seen Copilot for Finance or not, but it is also a good stuff to start with.
Yep.
And you have seen my presentation means, yeah, so PP means if you see PowerPoint Copilot, it's very easy to create a new presentation. To be honest, it took me hardly 5 minutes to create this presentation using Copilot. To be honest, I just changed a couple of text content and it's all done. So try to leverage Copilot. It will increase your productivity for sure.
No, it definitely does. I agree with you, Nitin. Yeah, I mean, the way it helps us to accelerate our day-to-day tasks, it's really helping a lot.
Yeah, cool. Okay, guys, thanks a lot.
Thanks, everyone.
See you again.
Thanks for joining.
Bye.
And stay in touch. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, team.
Bye.